Okay, welcome to another edition of the Real Estate Insiders. I'm Todd Probasco, mortgage lending at Lakeside Bank here in Chicago. And with me today, I have Lori Wyatt, who is a managing broker, I believe, at Real
Yes.
Estate Growth Partners
Yes,
in Chicago. Lori, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started in real estate and how long you've been in it.
Oh, wow. I've been in it since 1992, believe it or not. I came to Chicago to do music, and I was at Columbia College. And I started out in leasing. I needed an income, and I was part-time. And I kind of caught the bug. I loved it. It was really fun. And then as time went on, music kind of became more of a hobby, and real estate became more of my full-time thing. I went from leasing to new construction development to brokerage. I had a brief stint as a managing broker for Keller Williams, and then now I've had my own company for the last 5 to 6 years.
Awesome. And when you started in leasing, was that like leasing Chicago apartments, things like that downtown?
Yeah, apartments. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Now you kind of slid in this music thing. It was real estate, music, real estate, music. Tell us about the music thing. I've never had that with somebody. So tell us a little bit about your music background.
Yeah. So mostly I always wanted to write my own, I didn't want to be in a cover band. And I think that's what I realized. Music is so great, but it's tricky to make money in. And that's why I always had real estate to make money. And then music was, it was my passion, my hobby. I loved it. For a while, this is going back, 15, 20 years, we were playing, Taste of Chicago and Market Days. And we were really playing live quite a bit. And I was able to do that and still, do real estate at the same time. So it was fun. So some of the best times of my life have been at shows.
And are you still playing music professionally?
I am. I'm doing a couple things. I'm in a rock cubano project, which is like Cuban rock. And then I'm still doing my own original stuff as well.
Awesome.
Thinking about recording some more, actually, just because I haven't done it in a while, and it's the creative process is really fun.
And I take it, you play guitar and sing?
I play guitar and sing, yeah.
Wow.
My voice is blown out today because I have a cold.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. I don't do any of that, so all I got is mortgages. No, just kidding. All right. So let's dive into, let's talk about real estate.
Yeah.
What are you currently working on, and what are you seeing in the market right now?
So about 3 years ago, so I was a broker for a long time, and then I kind of started really loving the investment side of it more. And so about 3 years ago, I found a partner in California. We bought a package of 84 homes together. And the idea at the time was, we were going to clean them up and probably sell most of them to flippers. But as rates started creeping up, those people went away. So it ended up being it was supposed to be a quick get in, get out project. We're going on 3 years now. So we've done a lot more construction than we were planning. And what we've ended up doing is selling them to first-time buyers.
So you bought 84 in one swoop?
84 in one swoop.
Wow.
We're down to about 28 now. So, and I think with rates going down, our last batch of them now are going to go quickly.
Great.
But they're all south side, like in the city, south side, south suburbs. So they're like entry-level homes. And what I'm seeing there is, it's everyone's like the qualifications are very tight, ratios are very tight. You're a mortgage guy, so you can speak to that.
Right.
And so if like one little thing doesn't go as planned, we've had contracts fall out. So it's been tough.
I know. On that note, I don't know why. We all have this little thing, like you got that. Like everybody has their traditional buy and sell, but then,
right.
Especially those of us who've been doing it a while, we all have that little niche.
Right.
And I don't know why, but I got two. I got the one where you just reminded me, when it doesn't work out or it doesn't flip in the bucket, I get those calls like, right. Hey, Todd, so-and-so was trying to get a mortgage, didn't fall through. Can you take a look at this? I don't know why. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
And the other thing I got going is divorce business. I don't know if you've done any of that, but I had a lawyer once that I had to do a deal with for people who were getting divorced,
Yeah.
and knocked it out. She's like, well, you're going to start doing divorce now. I go, what? She's like, no, you're going to start doing divorce because most people in the mortgage business don't know how to handle a divorce.
Right.
You're going to start doing divorce. I go, wait a minute, hold on. Don't I? No, she goes, you don't have a choice. You're going to start doing it. So here we are, probably
That's
15
funny.
years later, still doing them. But that's kind of cool, though, that you did 84 in a swoop, kind of fix, flip, and sell. That's amazing. That's impressive.
It was a bit of a wild ride, there were moments where I was like, what was I thinking?
Right. 84 is a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I had been flipping homes before that, but my partner and I would do like, 4 at a time, 3 at a time. I think one year we did 7 at a time. So it ended up being like we were doing construction on like a dozen homes at a time.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a lot. It was intense. We had multiple crews going. It was a little crazy.
For the people listening, they're wondering, we know your role. You're going to list it, sell, and all that because you're a pro at that. What role does your partner have in that process?
He was leading up the construction. So he did project management in the past for a not-for-profit, and they were doing like 50 homes at a time, but they had like layers of staff. So he was doing project management on the construction side for us.
So you'll handle the buy, sell, and make the deal, get it from start to finish, and he'll handle the management of the property and getting it ready to rock and roll and get it,
Right.
anything that needs to be done. That's a good partnership. And
yeah,
I think there's a lot of people, as you know, that want to get into this flipping thing, but they don't have the construction company, or they go find someone and they end up probably eating up a lot of their profits, right? So
well, and that was part of the reason he got into, doing the construction piece, was because we had some bad actors and we really became kind of control freaks on that piece of it, because you can really get hurt if you're in a flip and you get a bad contractor, and now you've got to do contractor number 2, contractor number 3, and there goes all your profits.
Right. And time is money in that game.
Absolutely.
For people who are interested in possibly doing that, any tips you have for someone we all get those calls. Hey, I'm thinking about, I want to get into the investment game. I want to buy, fix up something and sell it. Any basic tips you have for people who are listening?
Absolutely. If you're going to do a flip, don't think that you can do it part-time. So if you've got to have somebody there every day. We learned that lesson the hard way. We thought when I still had a job, I was trying to do this, and it's too hard. If you don't have somebody there watching the project, it's going to go slow. The contractor is going to have 5 other jobs stacked up, and you're going to be at the bottom of the list. You've got to be on site every day when you're doing a flip, especially a big flip like gut to the studs, which is what we typically do. And the second thing I would say is, if you are going to be part-time, you definitely need to get into something that's turnkey. Again, going back to the same thing, you can't I'm going to do this value add, 3 flat, when you've got a Monday through Friday 9 to 5, unless you have a contractor that you really know, love, and trust. Somebody in your family maybe, or just someone that you've worked with a lot that really have a good relationship with.
And there's that other theory. What do you think about this? Crawl, walk, run. Don't think you're going to go from not doing it to a 6 unit. There's nothing wrong with starting with a condo. If you find a deal on a condo, fix it up, get in, get out, right? Limit your liability, right? And
absolutely. No, that's great. That's exactly what I would say, because I took over a foreclosure deal. It was a pre-foreclosure deal. A bank, it was actually a fund out in New York, called me and said, hey, we're going to foreclose on this guy. Do you want to take it over? And he had a regular 9 to 5 job, and he was showing up on the weekends, and over 18 months, he'd gotten demolition and windows done, and that was it.
Wow.
And, hard money loans, I think his interest rate was something crazy,
like 12% or something.
13%. Yeah. So it's like, what I do when I do a project, I literally figure out my daily interest, what I'm paying daily to own the house, and I put that in front of my face.
Right. It's on your whiteboard.
It is, because
it cost me this, right?
Yeah, because if it's costing you $350 a day to own it, it creates a real sense of urgency.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great thing. break it down from the big number down to the simple one, just like sales, that goes reverse. What do I do daily that turns into weekly to monthly, quarterly, and yearly numbers, right? So
Right.
you're just doing it backwards. Here's what it costs me daily, which rolls up to craziness.
Right.
That's awesome. That's great information. Where are these homes located? And what is the price point that you're selling right now?
And these are all starter homes. So they're going from, 175 to 350, 365.
Oh.
And they're scattered all over. We have like 9 in Pullman. We have 3 or 4 in Inglewood. We have Sauk Village. We have a couple on the west side in Austin.
Okay.
One in Lawndale. So, they're all going to be like first-time home buyer situation.
I love first-time home buyers are great. And I think you agree. Those of us in the business, it's so exciting to help somebody get their first house. And what I do is I make sure I get them the lowest rate. And then I also give them a $500 closing cost credit to say, jump in the pool. The water's warm. Welcome to home ownership.
Yep.
But I don't know about you. It's still, I think if you ever lose that charge of helping someone get their first house, you might think it should be about time to get out, because a lot of us, when you do a deal, if somebody's owned 6 houses, great. It's fun, get the deal done. But those people who get their first house and get that set of keys, my God, what a great feeling, to help people.
Yeah, that was one thing that we did when we first started. We went to every single tenant and we said, hey, if you want to buy the home that you're in, we'll offer that to you. And that was exciting to me because I'm a firm believer in home ownership as the fastest path to wealth.
Yes.
Some people can be really good about saving and put every penny away. I'm not one of those people. So I put all my money in real estate.
Yeah.
And it's, proven to work well for me.
Right.
And I'm enthusiastic about it. I think that people should you're in control of your own destiny then. You're not calling someone else to fix things. That means you have to fix it yourself, but you're also building for your future. So we actually had some success stories where one of the first buyers that bought, it was no one in her family had ever owned a home before. And it was one of the really cool historical townhomes down in Pullman.
Right.
And we went in and we did some upgrades for her, a kitchen, and we painted, we did the hardwood floors. And by the time we closed, she was out of her mind excited.
See, okay, all the things you've touched since then that you've probably forgotten about, you remember that smile on their face and how excited they were.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we have another guy, he was a machinist and he bought a 2-flat. It wasn't totally a smooth process, but I think in the end he's gonna be doing very well with that one. So there's some great success stories along the way, which has been great. Yeah.
You're doing some great things, I got to tell you. So I'm going to put your contact information at the bottom of the video for anybody who's looking to reach out and talk to you. Let's talk about tomorrow. Where do you see the business and what you're going to be working on? Right now, it seems like there's a buzzword. What are you going to be doing in 2030? I'm like, 2030? My God, are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
I know. What are you going to keep doing this kind of business? And then are you also mixing in traditional buy and sell deals? What are you working on today and for tomorrow?
Yep. I'm still doing some regular deals. Although I will say that right now the lion's share of what I'm doing is my stuff. But when those are finished, I'll definitely go back to, what I call it meat and potatoes real estate, like what I used to do before, which was, I did everything. I did single families, 2-flats, condos. I definitely enjoy the investor side of it more. And I have some friends that called me yesterday. They're like, hey, we want to buy our first 3-flat. So that's it's really helping people build wealth through real estate. That's the part that gets me the most excited. So I'll probably, turn my focus to the multifamily side of things, just because it's kind of where my career has evolved, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I can't go sell a house, but I get more excited about selling an apartment.
Sure. I mean, and those listening, if you're thinking about investing, Lori's going to be the one to contact. She's the pro at this, and why not reach out to her and get some tips and maybe look at hiring her. But are you originally from Chicago?
No, I'm from Detroit.
Oh, cool.
Not Detroit proper, but suburb of Detroit, Rochester Hills. north suburb.
Nice.
Yeah. So my parents, neither of my parents were into real estate. My dad was a machinist and my mom was a teacher. So, but he owned rental property, and I used to joke that I learned everything that I wouldn't want to do from my father.
Awesome. Yeah. Right.
Well,
What I
he
didn't
was,
want to do.
yeah.
Right.
Well, he was like, he worked full time, so he didn't have a lot of time to, make improvements or whatever. And, my rental properties that I own, I'm always touching them. I'm always improving them, always doing upgrades, making them nicer as they go along.
Yep. Well, your experience definitely shows through. So if anyone's looking to buy or sell and get into the investment game, get a hold of Lori Wyatt over at the Real Estate Growth Partners. I'll have her contact information listed. She's easy to get a hold of. Trust me. I know that for sure. And she comes with a wealth of knowledge and experience. Before we close out, let's talk about the current market right now. We've seen the bond market actually chill out last week after the jobs report. Interest rates have come down a little bit and stabilized, which is good news based upon what's happened this year. We're currently at about 11-month low on interest rates. So I think that's going to start creating some more activity in the market. I don't know if you're seeing it yet, Lori, but I have, to where some people who were on the fence are hearing the good news, and it's motivating people to think about buying and selling. What are your thoughts on that?
I think for sure. I'm seeing signs of life. Definitely more activity out there, and I feel like it's going to be a bit of a feeding frenzy if markets go down a little further. So I'm excited for it because I feel like it's been a bit of a tough market as of late.
Yep.
So I'm excited for things to pick up and get a little bit easier. It just feels like the last year and a half or so, it's just been a lot of headwinds. It's been,
Right.
as I'd like to say, a lot of headwinds in the market. So I'd like to see more activity. I just think it's tough for buyers, it's just, yeah. And lenders are so particular and picky now, no offense, but, but I just feel like the regulations have been so tight and just silly things where something small will trip you up. It's been crazy. So anyway, I'm excited for the market to pick up, and I think that's the direction it's going to go in.
Love it. All right. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, especially investment property in and around the Chicagoland area, get a hold of Lori Wyatt over at the Real Estate Growth Partners. If you're thinking about refining or getting a mortgage to purchase, my information will be listed at the bottom. I have great rates, personal service, and I lend in all 50 states. So if someone's looking for a mortgage, especially that first-time home buyer, I love working with them. Give me a call. Lori, maybe you and I could do a deal with someone listing on one of your homes right now.
I would love it. That would be great.
Home buyer, you sell it, I'll fund it, and we'll close it. How's that sound?
I'll send you all the ones we have coming on the market. That'd be great. I would love that.
Love it. All right. So this has been another edition of the Real Estate Insiders. Lori, thank you for joining us. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to either one of us, and we're here to help. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.